Welcome back to Frankly Speaking here on WYDC TV Big Fox. I'm your host, Frank Acom. We are broadcasting from the Hesselson studio, and this is the Stu Benz Senior Services Fund section of our program. And Tim's back. Hey, Tim. Good to see you.
Hey, Frank. Thanks for having me.
You know, we've talked to you a few times. One was during the big Salvation Army telethon, which we're going to get to that in a little bit. But tell us about the Elmira Impact, formerly Junior Enforcers, correct?
Right.
Tell us, for those that aren't aware, what is the Elmira Impact Hockey?
So Elmira Impact Hockey is junior hockey. We're going into our 5th season.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And by junior, sometimes people hear junior and they think, it's small kids.
Right.
But it's not. In the hockey world, junior hockey is basically between high school and college.
Okay.
So our players are age 17 to 20. They come here to Elmira to play from all over the world. We have players from all over the United States, Canada, and Europe who come play here every season. And they come play here because our league, the USPHL, is heavily scouted by college coaches,
Okay.
and they are looking to play college hockey or move up to higher level junior hockey.
And we've talked about it in the past, but you've had some really big success stories through the years with the Elmira Impact and having people turn pro.
Well, so we have had people who have gone on and played in the minor leagues.
Okay. It's only 5 years. Yeah.
Right, but we've also had several players who are playing Division I NCAA hockey.
Okay.
And we had one player last year who was invited to the Washington Capitals summer camp.
I knew there was
So that was
something.
our first NHL invite for a former junior enforcer.
Now, when it comes to Elmira Impact, this isn't free, right?
That's correct.
So how is Elmira Impact supported?
So I mean, we're largely supported by people in the community.
Okay.
And we're always looking for additional business partners to come aboard if they want to have a positive association. We also have, besides the players from all over the world, we have local players who come in as well. And that's one of the reasons that 5 years ago we started the program, was to provide an opportunity for local players to play hockey at this level.
Okay. And in business partners, if someone's interested, what should they do? Just go to elmiraimpact.com?
They can go to elmiraimpact.com. They can shoot me an email. My email address is tim, at elmiraimpact.com, and I'd be happy to sit down and talk about the possibilities with them.
Great. And you mentioned there's some players from out of town. Obviously, that means that there's going to be a need for host families. Is there a need again this year? That's why we had you on last year.
There is. There's always a need for host families. And one thing we've learned over the years is that we ask for host families year-round.
Okay.
But at the same time, our players begin to show up here later in August.
Okay.
So we're making another appeal
Yes.
because you can never have too many host families. You can never have too many options.
What are the responsibilities if someone thinks about becoming a host family?
So basically, the host families provide a safe home away from home for our players. Again, the players have come here from all over North America and Europe. They're here for 7 months. They get here in late August, and then they're here through mid-March. They do go home for a holiday break around Christmas and New Year's, and they are on the road a lot with the team because we travel all over, playing our road games. So basically, it's a safe place to sleep. It's a home away from home, to give these guys a little bit of comfort, give them some downtime, familiar place to unwind with good people when they're here.
What kind of time commitment is it for a host family? Because it seems as if, I'm sure, between schooling and from practice and games, there's probably not a lot of time they spend with the student, do they?
No, actually, the players are they're away from the house a lot.
Right.
They practice every day for 2 hours. They have team meetings every day. They have team workouts every day besides the road trips and their educational responsibilities.
Sure.
Yeah, so they are out of the house quite a bit.
And it should be mentioned, and this is not the reason to do it specifically, but there is a monthly stipend for each player, correct?
There is. It's the monthly stipend is $450 per player that's paid to the family. That helps offset the cost of the additional groceries.
Sure.
A little bit offset the cost of room and board. And I should say that these players are high character players. Mm-hmm. They've all passed background checks, and they are here to get positively noticed by higher level leagues.
Right.
So they sign very strict codes of conduct for their behavior.
And that's an important part if you do want to move on in the future, because they'll know your background.
That's correct.
If you screw up. And also, as a bonus, if you are a host family, free admission to all home games.
Free admission to the games, and also advertising opportunities for any businesses that hosts are associated with,
Sure.
and other perks as well. But I mean, one of the greatest perks though is we have host families that have hosted our players, year after year,
sure.
and they develop lifelong relationships with the players that they host, and they're still in touch. Many are still in touch with their players today.
So they stay close. That's got to be something neat too, as a family, watching your player move on and move along in their career and in their life. You know, we have the international exchange program on the program quite frequently to promote that as well. And you're talking about lifelong bonds.
Exactly. And one of the most satisfying things for me is when, players who played for us, 2, 3, 4 years ago are back in the area or coming back. They're driving from, somewhere in Canada to somewhere in New Jersey or something like that.
Yeah.
And they stop and reconnect with their host families. And I love hearing those stories.
And do you find once someone is a host family, it does seem like they want to do it year after year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have many returning families every season.
Do more than one player stay with a family?
That's really up to the family.
Okay.
But yes, we have some that are just single players in a host family. But we also have generally the players are in pairs. It's a little easier for the family and a little easier on the players too. And we have a couple families who every year host 3 players.
And what are the commitments? Not the right word. What should a family know if they're thinking about hosting? Is it typical to have a family with kids and student-aged children, or how's that work?
Honestly, there is no typical host family. I mean, it's everything from what you just described. Families with children, and it runs the gamut up to empty nesters, single parents.
Sure.
That sort of thing. So it's anyone who has some space in their house. And
space in their heart.
Right, it's space in their heart. and who really wants to have a meaningful, positive impact on a hockey player. And again, I'm happy to talk with anyone who might be interested to learn a little more.
And that's why I'm glad that you joined us, because on this program, so often we talk about community. And when you think about community, Elmira Impact is a very important part of the community. And one of the responsibilities is community service projects.
Correct.
And there's a time of need by various charitable organizations and various groups. How can maybe a charity or whoever get in contact with you and talk about community service projects for the students?
Yeah, so our players have to complete so many hours of community service every season.
Okay.
So we are always looking for opportunities. And one of the players from last season and I were on your show here during the Salvation Army
ringing the bell
last year, right? and ringing the bell. So I mean, anyone who's interested in having us involved, again, can feel free to shoot me an email, Tim at elmiraimpact.com.
And ringing the bell has to be the easiest community service project. That was just fun.
It is. There was no physical labor or anything involved in that.
Just cold.
We have a couple situations where I've got a bunch of 18, 19-year-old guys in the peak health condition, and they've said, hey, we've got stuff that needs to be moved from point A to point B, and
gotta get the hours in.
But ringing the bell is probably one of the easier, more enjoyable.
I have a feeling this year everybody will volunteer for ringing the bell, right? Because we'll need it again. We're going to be doing it again.
We'll be here.
So just before we go, if someone's thinking about being a host family, want to be a business partner, want a community service project that they can help you and you help them, what should they know? Where can they find out?
They can find out more by contacting me, Tim at elmiraimpact.com. They could also text or call me at 607-769-6805.
Well, Tim, thanks so much. Best of luck with the season.
Thanks, Frank.
All right, we'll have you on again soon.
Great. We'll look forward to it.
All right, we'll be right back with Frankly Speaking. Stay with us.